Hey everyone, it's Sarah from Sassy Reads, and today I am going to talk about some of the books that I have read in 2018. It's been a hot minute since I filmed a video. I think the last video I filmed was like in July, and it's December. I got a lot of books to talk about, so let's just keep going and see how I'll do. The first book I want to talk about is one of my all-time favorites for this year. It is Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. Pretty Girls follows the story of, we'll say technically 3 sisters, 2 who are alive and 1 who went missing years ago. And she's presumably dead. Yeah. It's dark, it's twisted. One of the sisters that we follow, she has recently gotten out of prison. You don't really know why she's gotten out of prison. And then the other sister, she comes from like the poorer side of town. And the sister who's gotten out of prison is affluent and has a very wealthy husband, and obviously has a lot of sway and pull. So we're like seeing these 2 very different sisters who have the same traumatic event that brings them together, and another traumatic event concerning the richer sister's husband when he dies. It occurs like in the first 20 minutes of the novel, because I listened to this on audio, which I highly recommend Karin Slaughter's audiobooks. I am a huge fan of them, particularly with the Pretty Girls audio. It was just so like powerful, especially the scenes where we're reading the father's letters to his daughter that has gone missing. Oh, it's so good. This is one of the most intense, brutal, disgusting novels I've ever read. It's really dark. It focuses on some of the most uncomfortable types of pornography that women face, rape, sexual assault, men in power who use their power to keep women under their authority. It's graphic, it's gross. There's one scene, I'll refer to it as the deer scene. It made me want to throw up. It was disgusting, but it evoked all of the emotions that I know Slaughter was intending to evoke. And oh, it sticks to me to this day, and I read this back in May. So 100% recommend Pretty Girls. And then the next book that I listened to was also a Karin Slaughter audio. It's at the end of the Pretty Girls. It's a novella prequel called Blonde Hair, Blue Eyes, and it follows the sister who went missing from Pretty Girls. She is a college student working in journalism, and she's noticed that girls with blonde hair and blue eyes have been going missing, and she herself has blonde hair and blue eyes. It's really sad because, I mean, obviously you know what happens to her, but it's a nice little audio book. I gave it 3.25 stars. It's not the best. I do really like Karin Slaughter, but this story in particular didn't really hit me hard. It still hit me because you know what's going to happen to this poor girl, but it just didn't. I didn't feel the knife in my heart like I did with Pretty Girls, which is probably why I rated it lower, which I know you probably shouldn't rate books according to that, but after reading Pretty Girls and then being like thrown into this audiobook novella, I was like, well, it was kind of anticlimactic in comparison, because Pretty Girls was just bang, 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 bang. Like, literally, I thought Gillian Flynn could, like, knock me over. No, Karin Slaughter has knocked me over. Like, she is fantastic. Easily one of the best writers I've discovered in 2018, hands down. The next book that I listened to is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, which is a huge leap from the dark nature of Pretty Girls, but I kind of needed something light and fun, and I'm pretty sure I read this during finals week in the spring or something like that. So, you know, it follows Percy Jackson, who is a dyslexic kid. I think he's like 12, and he's a demigod, which means his mom is human, and his father, who is obviously Poseidon, because water and a lightning bolt, is his father. And so he's got powers, and he has to go and hunt down Poseidon's bolt because it's been stolen. And you know, I saw the movie. This is obviously better than the movie. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed the narration. It was fun. It was cute. And I see why it's so beloved, but do I think it's this groundbreaking middle grade novel? No. Do I think it's well beloved for a reason? Yes. And so that's why I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't the most amazing read ever, but I did enjoy it, and I am glad that I finally gave Percy Jackson a shot. I do want to continue on, and my library has the audiobooks for the rest of the series, so maybe in 2019 I'll check those out. But we'll see. This isn't really a priority series for me. It's kind of just brain candy. But I do like the Greek mythology. That's probably one of the best aspects of the series, and I think that's a great strong suit because it's introducing young readers to Greek mythology, and that's always a fun place to learn. I also received an arc of Wotako. I'm totally not saying that right. Wotakoi. Love is Hard for an Otaku by Fujita. See, I can't pronounce Japanese names. I always wanted to learn Japanese, like when I was 12 and obsessed with anime, but I never did that. I actually DNF'd this arc. Sorry, NetGalley, but thank you. I got to page 53, and I just couldn't get into it. Like, it follows these 2 otakus, which, if you don't know what otaku is, they're like people who collect anime, games, manga in Japan, and they're kind of like hoarders of sorts, but they're revered, and they're not like always frowned upon. It's kind of like a culture that's like looked at as cool, I guess. And it's cute, but also it's like not completely accepted because they're still like seen as nerds. But I wasn't getting invested in it, and I just felt really negative towards it, so I was like, let me not even, I wasn't, like, okay, manga is not long, and if your manga can't get me interested, and I'm on page 53, and I want to, like, just end it, I'm just gonna end it, because I'm not gonna waste another 15 minutes of my life, basically. And the next book that I read was God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater by Kurt Vonnegut. This book follows Elliot Rosewater, who oh, it matches my walls, yes! So we meet Elliot Rosewater in Slaughterhouse-Five, if you've read Slaughterhouse-Five. He is the guy who ends up getting Billy Pilgrim introduced to Kurt Vonnegut, Kilgore Trout, who is basically a representation of Kurt Vonnegut in the fictionalized form. And Kilgore Trout is like this over-the-top satirical author who writes fantasy and stuff, but his books are only like sold in like porn shops. So he's not very well known. But yeah, Elliot Rosewater is incredibly rich, so this focuses on a lot of topics such as consumerism, capitalism, materialism, there's religious topics discussed in here, war, because Elliot Rosewater, you know, has the opportunity to go to war, but I don't think he did. It's been a while since I read this. I read this in May, but I definitely really enjoyed this. It's been a long time since I read a Vonnegut, so it was nice to go back to him. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Not a full 5, but still a brilliant piece of literature that I just really enjoyed, and it made me realize that I still enjoy Vonnegut, even though it's been a while since I've picked him up. So I do look forward to immersing myself back into the Vonnegut books as time goes on, and hopefully one day I will have read them all. Personally, the reason why I gave this one 4.5 stars was there were times and sections that just didn't capture my attention, and it was kind of hard to slog through. But like I said, Vonnegut is so witty, and I just really love his characters, and they're always so outlandish, and just the way that he connects all these weird, hysterical people together, it's fun. It's just a fun time. And it's always a dark, fun time, because he's, you know, kind of like the king of dark comedy in the satirical sense. And so, yeah, these are some of the books that I've read in 2018. Out of them, Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter is the one that you should read. I can't wait to go out and buy a copy of that book. I love it so much. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments if you've read any of these books, and I hope to see you down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and bye! Happy reading!